Y'all just watched what the hell is this? Season 3, episode 12 of Love is Blind, the reunion, and the producers are very shady. It's the cutie story heard around the world. Um I do not think he was being malicious. I think that Cole. I don't think Cole was being malicious. I think he's not self-aware, and I think she probably never forgave him for emphasizing so much that Colleen was his physical choice. Like that's what he likes in the real world is what they kept saying. Anyways, the reunion was cool. There wasn't anything to write home about, but it was as I suspected. Bartise and Cole were acting extra crazy, even like, but it was basically like they were the shakes of this season. Um, but what I'm gonna say is Cole is, if you ever watched that show Insecure, um, and it had Lawrence, the ideal man, right? And Tasha, the rebound chick. And Lawrence thought everything he was doing was cool to in regards to this chick. And he ghosted her right during her family event, and she was like, you're worse than the nice guy. Low Black Book warns us about the nice guys too. Shout out to Low Black Book. um you're worse than the nice guys. Sometimes will do the worst to you, and they really don't understand that they're doing what they're doing. So I what really touched my heart was Cole was genuine. Well, at least if that boy could act, if he was acting, he was genuinely devastated that he was not going to be seen as a good guy, and that could have possibly hurt Zainab and brought down the self-esteem. How she felt he did. He was embarrassed, and that her family clapped when she ended it, because I feel like he wants to be known as a good guy in this world. But he was crying, saying that he actually wanted to be friends with these people after that. He was he heard it as her saying he was evil, but Alexa saying that he was deceitful. So there's, how there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff and people know things that are going on and it's not shown on the camera. Like I said, to me, Cole and Bartise just did not belong there. SK low key didn't belong there either, because he knew he was going off to school and he just took his ass on this show. But what I'm gonna say is, I think, because I've been in that situation, Zainab and Cole didn't know how to communicate with each other at all. Not even a little bit. They had a good time together. The bed was probably decent. There was no communication. And they kept, because they had such drastic approaches. And I took a class where he said men have blue headphones, women have pink headphones, and we don't know how, we don't hear the same things when we say each other things to each other. And I think Cole genuinely was hurting Zainab, but instead of acknowledging that, and yes, she had insecurity, so I'm not gonna downplay that. I think she was genuinely hurt that his family did not even want to meet her. Like, she already felt rejected, and then the family didn't want to meet her. And then supposedly he told her a story about something that happened at the bachelor party, which he swears didn't happen. But Brennan called him out. Every time he spoke to Zainab, he called her bipolar. He called her crazy. He called her insane. Every word that he said downplayed her mental stability. So it invalidated anything she felt, any of her feelings. But yet he wanted the world to end because he felt that he fell in love and he was rejected. So I'm gonna believe Cole and think that he fell in love, and he said he told his friends that wasn't her, that she flipped the switch. I guess he genuinely thought that the relationship was going well. He said the cameras upplayed her nagginess and upplayed his lostness, but there was way more times in the middle. But the other ladies were saying that he kept slick talking how she looked, um, how her weight, all this different stuff. So I'm leading to believe that he was doing that, but he probably thought it was funny and joking. And so his wisecracking and her insecurity just turned into a Molotov cocktail of foolishness, and they didn't need to be together. Bartise didn't need to be on the show, point blank, into the period. They had heat for Bartise too. Oh, before I go to Bartise, well, no, before I go to Bartise, Colleen and Cole got taken to task about that talk by the pool, but Colleen came out smelling like roses. Cole looked crazy because he was shooting his shot, and everybody was really, really not feeling how he did that. And even he said he was embarrassed. He said that he said all types of crazy things that being on reality TV showed a side of him that he didn't even realize he had. So anybody going on TV, I'm pretty sure if you don't know you have personality flaws, you will feel lost and be like, oh my God, if it's me, I'm afraid of what the hell I would do if they put me on TV and showed my dating habits or whatever. But that being said, let's move on to Bartise and Nancy. Bartise said he was all devastated. Nancy said, no, you weren't. And apparently 3 days after they broke it off, he was with some tall blonde that's her words, not mine, at the bar. And he even said he did do something with the lady at a yacht party. But then he said, you guys shouldn't be worried about my sex life. But when you smashed Nancy, I keep making sure that when you smash Nancy, because Zaynab was with Cole. When you smash Nancy, you said how many times, you're bragging all about it. Even SK called Bartise out. How can because Nancy said at the most you were honest, Bartise, about how you felt about Raven, and you came home, and SK said that was messed up because you took I wouldn't even be your bro after this, because you took a whole conversation about what that we had about Raven and went back and told your girl, and then turned around and shot your shot at my girl. Luckily, she respected herself enough to tell you no. And Bartise was acting like he was just totally not in the wrong. I mean, they touched base about the unaliving babies conversation, and he commended Nancy for being brave enough to talk about that. He still claims that he was in love with Nancy, but apparently, according to Bartise, in order to cope, you run up into another chick. That's a lot of guys out here. Instead of going to figure out what's going on with you, you run up into another chick, and this time it was a tall blonde. So, not here for Bartise. I still say I'm going to give Cole a little bit more of a pass because I honestly feel like he's lost. He's lost in the sauce. But SK definitely G-checked Bartise about his moves and how he was coming off to people. And Brandon and Alexa had a lot to say in regards to the other couple things. And Alexa said she was way more affectionate than it showed on the show. But her family is very sarcastic and they're not super affectionate. So she wanted to make sure that Brandon knew that she loved him. And she kind of loved him after the third day they were in the pods. She wrote it in a notebook. Who else did we want to talk about? Colleen and Matt. They, by body language, they seem to be really into each other, really protective of each other. And he's forgiving Colleen for that pool conversation. And he really talked up Colleen's work ethic, and Colleen made sure to say that she wasn't just a ballerina, even though you're the one who emphasized it, lady. I'm sorry. She wasn't just a ballerina, and that she is actually a deep person. She's not shallow or superficial. They took that soundbite of her saying, can we not get deep with Cole? And Cole saying he chose Zaynab because she was deeper, and ran with it. What I did like was that SK and Raven are still together. She seems to genuinely have a thing for SK, and I think it's because he said he didn't even know what the hell Pilates was. So I guess he wasn't using like how Bartise was using the fact that she did Pilates to figure out if she was fine or not body-wise. And she looks stunning. I actually usually prefer textured hair, but something about the straight hair on her worked. But but they're making it work. They're together. That's his girl. And he said it was very hard for him to say no. And when we saw him pausing, figuring out if he would say I do or not, it was he needed to make a choice for himself versus a choice for his family. And I've been there, done that, didn't even get a damn t-shirt. Choosing what makes you happy, what you think will make your life work. So him and Raven are together. So it looks like, and I'm sorry, Vanessa and Nick Lachey, something about Vanessa, something. It irks my soul. Her and the lady that John Legend is married to give me the same vibes. I don't like it. I don't like it. But anyways, everybody accepted Cole still being friends. He really wanted to still be friends. Like I said, he suffers from I have to be the nice guy. But I do think he was genuinely hurt because he didn't think he was being that bad to Zaynab. And I think Zaynab did blow up some stuff. But when you constantly try to, because I was in a situation like that where somebody is constantly trying to diagnose you, you feel like you start to wonder, are you crazy? Even though you feel like you have real valid concerns and feelings. And so your feelings are never addressed. So you never can go fully in because you don't feel vulnerable. And I commend Colleen for saying that Matt makes her feel vulnerable. And I know she makes him feel vulnerable because he seemed to still be suffering from that big betrayal that he had. Well, that was the end of the season. They showed Cutie-gate. I see a lot of people commenting saying that Zaynab lied on this man. So the conversation happened, but the point of views were different on what was happening. I think that she blew up her side. He downplayed his side. Hence, that's why Dr. Phil said there's always 3 sides to a story. Yours, mine, and the truth. And that video showed the truth. And I wonder if Zaynab feels some type of way now that she's watched the video. But if he truly made you feel like your self-esteem was in the trash, you didn't need to be with him anyway. And she was right for saying no. And Cole may need to reflect on how he speaks to people and how what he says affects other people, even though he thinks is a joke. That was the reunion of season 3 of Love is Blind. We're done for the ride. I think they're doing a live on Little Black Book. I'm sitting here trying to survive this hurricane. So I may jump on there if we still have lights and internet connection. But I love you guys. I kind of like doing the video this way. It made it quick because some of these shows are just so long it doesn't make sense. And sorry, I still think that Bartise is basura. If you don't know Spanish, look it up. With that being said, love who loves you. May God bless you with everything that you need. And the Sepia Scholar is out. Bye, y'all.